Greetings all. Susan Awa here. Have a listen to Professor Plo Lumumba really break this down, asking a question. A simple case of electricity, electrifying the nation, is something we are simply unable to supply. This is shameful. Have a listen to his words. That we don't have one infrastructure that we can say has been a success in the hand of one president to the next. Have a listen.
I refuse to do so. And I'll not speak for too long either, because the issues that I'm raising are known. They are known because they have been spoken about. They are known because your former leaders have spoken about them. If you look at the writings of your former presidents, the statements of your politicians, the writings of Olusegun Obasanjo in his book, My Watch, he says, among other things, that potential is nothing if it is not realized. I look at the early statements of Sir Ahmadu Bello, the early statements of Obafemi Awolowo, the early statements of MKO Abiola, the early statements of the two Ojukus, the father and the son. And I ask myself, what can we do now? And I know what we can do. The first thing that we must do today to commemorate the 65 years since Nigeria regained independence is for Nigeria and Nigerians to make a solemn resolve that is no longer business as usual. That from today on, Nigeria is going to provide leadership. That she's going to provide leadership in the economic arena. That we are going to hear more Nigerians talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. That we are going to hear Nigerians talking about the diversification of the economy. That we are going to hear Nigeria talk about agriculture. That we are going to hear Nigeria saying that we are no longer going to import our chicken from Brazil. That we are no longer going to import our rice from Pakistan. That we are no longer going to have on our tables anything called English tea. That we are no longer going to have Nescafe on our table. That we are no longer going to import palm oil from Malaysia, that we are going to diversify our economy, that we are going to revive our leather industry, that we are going to revive our industry so that we can create jobs here, that Nigeria is going to be open space for the rest of Africa, that Nigeria is not going to ask for visas, that Nigeria is not going to ask me for a landing pass when I come to Nigeria. How can the mother country ask me for a landing pass? That Nigeria is not going to ask me for visas when I come here. This is our Mecca, so to speak, and we should be able to come here without any hindrance whatsoever. Nigeria must do that if the continent of Africa is to realize our potential. And I'm suggesting that you must also open up your education. Our young men and women who are going to study in Europe and America, if there were no ASU strikes, we would be coming to Ibadan. We would be coming to Nsukka. We would be coming to the Lagos School of Business. We have enough intellectuals to make us come here, and you can make the money through education. I'm suggesting that you can do that. I'm also suggesting that your airline must now be revived. Nigeria cannot be a country without an airline. How can it be? It can be done. There are many Nigerians. When I see Air Peace, when I see Air Ibom, I know that it can be done. This is the time for it to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish not to speak for too long. Let me now move toward the conclusion, because conclude I must. We are at a difficult time in Africa. And that time can only be resolved if we make a solemn resolve Today, we must remember the words of those who are in the forefront of leadership. Today, I remember the words of a great South African, a man who you must know, Pixley Kaisa Kaseme. Speaking in the year 1906, he said that Africa must be regenerated. And I'm suggesting that it is Nigeria that must be in the forefront of the regeneration of Africa. I'm also hearing it being said in 1957, on the 6th day of March 1957, the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah said that the independence of Ghana meant nothing. Today I'm saying that the new liberation of Africa will only happen if Nigeria is in the forefront. I'm urging you, you movers and shakers, go out there and move and shake the political leadership so that they are able to do that which is good and right. You have the ability, because if you don't do it, history will judge you harshly. Lastly, I want to conclude with these words of James M. and Kwejiragri of Ghana, who said that we are eagles, but we have been fed on chicken feed for too long. Let us today abandon chicken feed. Let us become eagles that we may fly. We are lions who have had the taste for rats for too long. The time is now that we must reacquire the taste for antelopes. Only then will our lionhood be manifest. And I conclude with these words of Wole Soyinka, that a tiger does not shout about its tigritude. You follow the path of a tiger and you see a duiker dead, and you know that some tigritude has emanated from there. So go out there and be what you must, lions. Go out there and be what you must, tigers. Go out there and be what you must, eagles. It can be done and it must be done, and it is you whom are movers and shakers who must do it. God bless you.
That is such a profound speech by Professor Plo Lumumba, really calling out our lack of ability to fix a common electricity, 24/7 electricity across Africa. This is something that we need to put a stop to, and the likes of Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, and General Chiani are well on the way to actually beginning to change that mindset, and we need others to follow their leadership. Thank you very much. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak with power. Do add your comments as well. Thank you. Bye for now.